With the fall gaming season almost underway, in this video we're going to be taking a look at everyone's favorite genre, and that is open world games, and take a look at the upcoming open world games in fall 2018. Now before I get started with this video, remember that fall begins on September 21st, so if you're wondering why Spider-Man is left off this list, that is why. We've got 10 games to go over on a wide variety of platforms, so let's get right into this. First up, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I feel like whenever you talk about open world games, Assassin's Creed is one of those franchises that pop immediately into your head. Maybe it's because of the consistency of the releases. This is nearly a yearly franchise. I say nearly because we have had years like 2016 where Assassin's Creed decided to take a break, and I thought that would become more of a regular, where Assassin's Creed would take a break every other year. But lo and behold, after the success of Assassin's Creed Origins, you knew Ubisoft had to get right back on the AC train, and now this year we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Odyssey looks like it's building upon a lot of the mechanics set in Origins, and it does have more of an emphasis on the RPG elements. The game's gonna have dialogue options, branching quest lines, and multiple endings. And of course, you're going to be able to choose from one of two characters from the get-go. You either can play as Alexios or Cassandra, male or female. The game also has a notoriety system, a romance system, so a lot of new elements to the Assassin's Creed franchise, which I can appreciate. I think that the main issue with AC is a lot of the games feel very similar, and while AC Odyssey on the surface looks very similar to AC Origins, it does look like it's introducing some new mechanics, so that's great. It'll be coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on October 5th. Next up, we probably have the most anticipated open world game of fall 2018, and that is of course Red Dead Redemption 2. Now there could be a slight argument that you can make with another game, we'll mention that game in a little bit, but I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is just a step above every other open world game, and that's because of how incredible Red Dead Redemption 1 was. Think about this fact, at this point we still don't know a ton about Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not like we've even gotten an official gameplay demo, it's really just been trailers, and there is still a ton of secrecy surrounding Red Dead Redemption 2, and even with that, this has quickly become the most anticipated game of the year. At the very least, it's among the top echelon, and that's because we know the track record. Red Dead Redemption 1 was so good, it was such a good game, and we saw the improvements GTA 5 made from GTA 4. If we're getting that similar level of improvement, the possibilities for Red Dead Redemption 2 are nearly endless. And of course, not only with the single player mode, we're gonna have a very in-depth multiplayer component as well, and expect Red Dead Redemption 2 to take the gaming world by storm when it's released on October 26th for PS4 and Xbox One. Now let's mention that other open world game that's giving RDR2 a run for its money. It's Fallout 76. Now I don't think Fallout 76 has the similar level of hype and anticipation as RDR2 does. Maybe that's because we just got Fallout 4 back in 2015. The taste of that game really hasn't left our mouth, and Fallout 76 looks like a lot more of the same from Fallout 4. Of course, there is the added depth of multiplayer, and they are touting that the game's world is 4 times in size to that of Fallout 4, but I always take statements like that with a grain of salt. Let's play the game for ourselves. Let's see if the game is actually filled with content or if it's a little bit barren, because Fallout 76 being 4 times the size of Fallout 4, that would mean that it's an absolutely enormous game. Of course, the added layer of multiplayer is going to be a nice addition for some people. They might not even like it, but I think Fallout 76 did need something like that for an added selling point, because again, Fallout 4 was pretty recent in terms of Fallout release standards. While I might have sounded a little bit negative with Fallout 76, it's still Fallout at the end of the day. There's going to be a gigantic audience around this game closer to its release on November 4th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Next up, we have Starlink Battle for Atlas. Starlink Battle for Atlas is a brand new IP that's coming from the guys over at Ubisoft, and it's a third-person action-adventure game set in the Atlas star system. You venture into different parts of the Atlas system, meet with different alien species, and form an alliance with them in order to build a crew. Forming these alliances change the game's world state, which will then change the gameplay experience. It's a very interesting game, and maybe space games have a little bit more hype surrounding them, especially with the added hype surrounding No Man's Sky. Starlink Battle for Atlas is of course a very different space-based game, but great to see Ubisoft put out a very interesting new IP. Starlink Battle for Atlas will be hitting on October 16th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Next up, we have Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is going to be a game that some people are going to be very, very excited for, and then others are probably not even going to know what this game is all about. Well, it's Fist of the North Star making the transition into the video game realm, and what's very exciting about this game is that it features very similar gameplay elements to Yakuza, a fantastic franchise. It's actually being done by some of the people that worked on Yakuza, and the game itself takes place in post-apocalyptic Earth. After a nuclear war, the oceans have dried up, and and you are dropped into this world in a third-person action-adventure game. Again, it features a lot of the similar mechanics from Yakuza, so that's great. You're going to be able to explore the city, fight through enemy encounters in a beat-em-up style game, and you'll have various mini-games such as bartending, baseball, and racing that are gonna add another layer to the depth of the gameplay. Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and it'll be dropping on October 2nd. Next up, we have Darksiders 3. It's fantastic to see Darksiders 3 make a comeback, but initially when Darksiders 3 had its gameplay reveal, I was very skeptical with the game, but the recent gameplay demos have made this game look like a totally new experience, and it looks fantastic. It looks like a very competent open-world action-adventure game, and in the game you take control of Fury, a sister of war, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and Fury herself is a mage who is described as the most unpredictable and enigmatic of the four horsemen. She relies on whips, swords, flails, daggers, and magic in combat. Visually, it's got a really cool look to it, and while it's not technically jaw-dropping, I really appreciate some of the design elements. If you haven't played Darksiders in the past, you can check out both of the games on the PlayStation 4. They are readily available, very cheap, and they are both very good games, so it'll be exciting to see Darksiders 3 drop on November 27th. Next up, we have a long-standing open-world franchise seeing its latest release in Just Cause 4. Now, Just Cause 4 is a game that I have my skepticism about because of Just Cause 3. While Just Cause 3 fundamentally was an okay game, that game was an absolute technical nightmare on the PlayStation 4. Actually, just on every platform, even on PC, on higher-end PCs, it had its issues. Now, I will say that Just Cause 3 had some of those issues remedied, but it's far from a perfect experience, and I really hope they get it right from a technical standpoint with Just Cause 4. At the very least, hopefully it's optimized well enough on the PlayStation 4 Pro where it's running well on that and the Xbox One X. I would expect more of your traditional Just Cause gameplay with Just Cause 4. It's an open world game series that doesn't take itself too seriously, but when it's done well, it is an absolute blast to play, blowing up anything, doing anything you want. There is a ton of fun to be had with Just Cause 4, and with this title, this game is being developed with Avalanche's new Apex game engine, and this new technology allows the game to have diverse and extreme weather effects, including blizzards, sandstorms, tornadoes, and more. Those are usually pretty taxing from a technical perspective, so hopefully the consoles are gonna be able to hold up. We're gonna find on December 4th as the game is released on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Next up, we have a very well-received PC game getting its PlayStation 4 release, and that is The Forest. The Forest is yet another survival game, which at one point were seemingly the most popular genre in all of gaming. It seems like that's been overthrown by the Battle Royale genre, and the survival genre has kind of peaked at this point, but there's still a lot of great survival games to check out, and The Forest is definitely one of them. It's a first-person open-world survivor game, and you must survive on a forested peninsula after a plane crash. The player survives by creating shelter, weapons, and other survival tools. Inhabiting the island are a tribe of nocturnal cannibalistic mutants who dwell in the village on the surface and in deep caves beneath the peninsula. The game also features a day and night cycle, with the player able to build a shelter and traps, hunt animals, and collect supplies during the day and defend themselves against the mutants at night. This has been one of the most positively received survival games on PC. Again, it's already available there, so it'll be great to see it make its transition over to the PlayStation 4. As long as it can hold up from a technical standpoint, this will be a great game. We don't have a release date yet, but hopefully it's out before 2018 is over. Next up, we have Biomutant. Biomutant is a very interesting open-world action RPG being done by Experiment 101, a brand new studio which was established in summer of 2015 by former Avalanche Studios employees. Remember, Avalanche also did games such as Just Cause. We mentioned Just Cause 4 earlier, and they did work on Mad Max. Biomutant is very interesting because you're not playing as your typical main character. Instead, you're taking control of a raccoon-like creature in a world filled with mutated animals. The first thing you do is customize your own character: gender, length, body shape, thickness, fur, fangs, and many other attributes. And the thing is, these aren't attributes just for show. You alter all of these and they make direct impact with the gameplay. So what about the gameplay? The combat system combines melee attacks with long-range shooting, and you collect parts throughout the game and combine these parts to create weapons. Each of the parts have their own stats as well, and the game looks very interesting and very unique in terms of open-world game design. Now, some of the early gameplay still has me a little bit skeptical, but as a brand new IP, I can definitely appreciate Biomutant. It's still scheduled for a 2018 release window. We haven't heard about it in a little bit, so I could see this one being delayed until 2019. Hopefully, we see it before year's out, but honestly, delaying it into 2019 might be the best because we have so many other games releasing in the fall that releasing a new IP like this might not be the best idea, but hey, it's still labeled as a 2018 release. And lastly, we have Forza Horizon 4. Forza has been one of Microsoft's and Xbox staple franchise, but with the Forza Motorsport series, that series has gotten a little bit stale. But Playgrounds' Forza Horizon has really taken the throne as one of the best racing game franchises in the world, possibly the best. And now we have the latest one, and yes, it's Forza Horizon 4, but these games have not gotten stale at all. And with this one, we're gonna have over 450 cars in a fictionalized representation of the United Kingdom, and the game looks incredible. Also, we do have a bigger focus on the online play, and we have a synchronized shared world with a bunch of different servers, each supporting up to 72 players. And of course, if you do want to play in offline, you can completely play the game in offline mode. You'll also be able to buy properties from across the map, unlock new items and gameplay perks, and we do have dynamic weather in the game that also depicts the change of the season. Forza Horizon 4 is a legitimate system seller for the Xbox One, and it'll come to Xbox One and Windows 10 on October 2nd. So that concludes 10 awesome open world games coming in fall 2018. What do you think? Open world is still one of the premier genres in gaming, and we're seeing that just in the season of fall, we've got 10 major open world games coming. Let us know which games you're planning on picking up, and sound off with your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.